First year growing my own maize, and I've done the best. That's what I do. How do you increase from being the best? So that was fantastic.
What you need.
That looks like a man having a wee. Oh god. I just got maize.
M-A.
Done that wrong already. Oh, she was right. Dry one. If it stays on there, one's going to kill me. M-A-I.
Yeah.
S-E. Not Maize-y. Bright maize. Alright. Good morning, everyone. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, ring the little bell. You get notifications of my videos every Tuesday, Friday, and sometimes we do a Sunday video. I'm going to shut the dog up.
Here's the thing.
So, I've wanted to do this video for a long time, and this video is all about this. That's right, maize. Something we've been talking about for years. 2 years ago we bought 10 acres from a neighbouring farm. 1 year ago, last year, we grew it ourselves. We grew 10 acres last year. No. Sorry, we bought 10 acres. Last year we grew 42 acres. 39 acres we drilled. Couldn't do that 3 acres. You've seen us draining. You'll see a bit more draining coming up soon. And about 35 acres we would say was croppable. Yeah. Let's say that much. Me and Dad have written down all the costs. Dad's done it the old school way. I've done it in an Excel sheet where every time you change a number, it will change how much it costs per acre. So all the way down the line, we were looking at how much it costs to spray, the sprays itself, how much it costs to get contractors in, how much it costs to hire it in, how much diesel we use for that time. We've worked it all out and we've nearly got to the same number. We're just chatting about there. A couple of costs we've missed out by accident, a couple of costs we've probably missed out, and a couple of things that has happened. So
I think we've tried to be both fair.
Yes.
You've done it the modern way, I've done it the fag packing way.
Yeah.
And literally we are £35 an acre difference.
Yeah.
£35 an acre. Now whether we've got all the costs in exactly right, it's up for discussion. However, we've not made too many assumptions. We've used practical costs that have directly cost us as a business.
We have. I have the board. Mum said that this won't come off, and it looks like it's not coming off because I spelt maize with an I instead of an A. But hey ho, here we are. So first of all, what were the costs? What did we have to do to get the maize into the ground? I've got a little bit of a list here. We had to spray it off. We had to spray twice. This is to do everything not in the right order. Sprayed twice, used Roundup, which is glyphosate or whatever it's called. We soil tested all the fields, we mucked, we slurried, we ploughed, we para-harrowed twice, we drilled, we pre-em sprayed, we dapped down the drill, we late application of fertiliser in the end. We had to use some calcifert because the pH was low.
And thinking like calcifert, the total costs have been put against this maize, but that gives a ongoing effect. It's not for one crop, that can spray or anything. That cost had been put against this, but it was needed.
Yeah, so a lot of these costs are put down technically against the maize, but we would have had to use them anyway. We've got seed, chopping, rent, drilling with plastic, I've got on this list, but we never actually did that, and then miscellaneous of someone bursting a tyre. Second problem of the day. How much checking that's going to be. By the way, off 40 acres, we've averaged it over 40 acres because of some costs. We paid for ploughing of 42 acres because we ploughed it all. We didn't drill it all. So we actually lost 3 acres of drilling price, but we paid for all the ploughing. So kind of we've gone for 40 acres as a bit of an average, and it's a bit easier on the maths. The tyre burst was a miscellaneous because Tom burst a tyre. Guess how much that tyre cost me? £720, and I think it cost £17 an acre extra, so that was fantastic.
It just shows you caution, care, which pays, doesn't it?
So bad, so bad. And then on an overall cost for maize, so we're going to do overall costs of maize, and then we're going to work out was it worth it and how we think it went. The overall cost for maize, we both worked out. What did you work out, Dad?
I worked it out, cost £565 an acre.
So I worked out at £601 an acre, but there's a couple of costs in mine that I've missed, and there must be quite a lot of what you've missed.
It depends where you put the rent.
You haven't got the tyre for 17 quid, that goes up again.
Yeah, and the rent cost, it depends, because you only usually, you could actually crop again, or use, the rent is for the year. So
yes,
you could actually hire the ground for 6 months or whatever, you let someone else crop it winter wheat after, whatever. Depends on how you cover the rent.
I've done all the costs, and then we've worked out I worked out on mine. Let's do £600 an acre, because I think that's pretty cheap as well. I think we've probably missed a couple of things.
I'm certain. Well, it hasn't accounted for any of our direct costs, which is very important. That if you employed someone to do it all for you, it would be a bigger cost, because we did all the power harrowing, we did some of the grubbing and whatever, we did all the muck spreading. If you paid for someone to do it, you'd have a direct cost.
We don't bill our labour and our time, so none of that gets put in, which I think is quite interesting, because we don't take a wage from the farm. Me, mum and dad take nothing. You guys just get your pensions, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. I live off the scraps.
But yeah, so if I worked out at 10 tonnes an acre, I did it. If we got 10 tonne an acre, 15t, 20t, 20 tonnes an acre, we were never going to get. It wasn't going to happen. Might do this time, maybe, I don't know. So that would work out at
cost per tonne.
Cost per tonne. So cost at £10 an acre is 60, cost at 15, 45, cost at 20 is 30. If you could make maize at £30 an acre, £30 a tonne, sorry, you'd be doing very well, wouldn't you? At 45, I reckon we're probably around the 11, 12 tonne per acre.
Well, I costed mine out here at 10 tonnes the acre, 12 tonnes the acre, which I think is our realistic one.
I think so,
and 15 is what we're aiming for minimal.
Hopefully this year, if we do better. Yeah.
So I cost it out at 12 tonnes to the acre, actually.
Oh, did you?
So
okay.
This time.
So what did you get at 12 tonne to the acre?
Well, about 12 to the acre, it's cost us £50 a tonne.
£50, okay. At 12. Yeah. You probably can't see that, but it's a bit of guidance for us. My handwriting is absolutely terrible.
Yeah, it's sold today as £50 a tonne, which works out well with our second calculation of whether it was financially worth it as far as milk yield concerned as against other costs.
So overall, this experiment, and that's not including as well, we did the grubbing it afterwards. We're not doing that. It's literally got the crop off and done. Grubbing it afterwards, drilling afterwards, seeding afterwards, so there's more cost involved, and then we sprayed it off. It didn't work. I think we can confirm we would not, if it's November time, don't put grass seeds in.
No. If we get off in October, yes we can. 20th of November we'll see. However, you may not have noticed, but I did when I was draining, the corner he didn't spray off was nearly a foot tall.
Yeah, no.
You know, a foot tall.
But you'd have never known it was going to be this dry for this long.
No. It was a risk.
It would have been a risk to leave it, and I'd have rather got a good maize crop off. You know, that's what we're in for. Yes, you can double crop stuff. I personally would rather get a good maize crop off and be happy with it. A few people have drilled under plastic at the moment. I know I'm just talking about good maize. I've gone on a bit of a tangent here, and then I think I worked it out at £175. I could be wrong with that. Extra to drill under plastic, and I don't think that's worth it. Even at £130 an acre, I think we're better leaving it. For an extra £130 an acre, we're better leaving it and just getting one crop off. That crop of grass has got to really do it. You know, people do it to double crop it, don't they?
You've got to get another 3 tonnes to the acre of maize to
Yeah.
start with. I mean, you know, actually £50 a tonne, £150 an acre. So you've got to get 3 tonne extra of maize off. The only advantage is, as you say, double cropping or get a crop of winter wheating for people who want to go that way. The advantage with double cropping, right, the field was reasonably levelled. It has a better for the soil structure for the winter.
Yeah.
We've levelled all the ruts out we made, because we grubbed them out, so your field doesn't look like the sun at the end of the flipping at the end of the winter. You could get on with your muck spreaders now with no problem everywhere, and the root structure that the grass had actually starts to break up the soil. We should get a better tilth this time.
Yeah, I think
in all fairness, let's be fair, the cost would be around £2,000 an acre we spent doing it. Would have got at least 100 bales off, so it's £20 an acre plus baling cost. Would have got, if we were short of forage, we'd have taken it because we'd have needed to keep cows.
You can really push it. I think
it covers its costs.
I think it covers its costs, and then the bonus is soil structure. So what we didn't,
and utilises the extra nitrogen that's in the ground that doesn't get leached into the waterways.
Yeah. So I think it was worth it for soil structure, but it probably wasn't worth the full cost of it. think, I could be wrong, just because we are in the north. We are in the north. It's November time. Should we have put grass seeds in? Probably not. But hey ho, it was worth the risk. Early November, really rushed it. We might have done it.
Yeah.
It's a learning curve. October, I think we would end up doing it. But with our new spring harrows, we'd probably broadcast it, I think.
We'll do it ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, it was just it's contracting costs again that costs. Put the cost up. The seed is cheap.
Yeah.
Our time is relatively
Nothing.
cheap. You know, a bit of diesel. We'd have done it ourselves.
Yeah.
If you get the maize off without making great big ruts.
That is it. But with some top quality drainage, again, you come soon. Andrew from the Farming Theory. I saw you do that.
This is not my father with a mini digger pulling in a single drain pipe thinking that's going to fix the drainage issue. That is absolutely shots fired at Tom Pemberton.
I heard you, mate. But anyway, so at £50 an acre to grow the maize.
£50 a tonne.
Thank you. £50 a tonne to grow the maize. How much is maize to grow? I think maize is about that to buy in, isn't it?
Round about, yes.
Delivered around 60 quid.
Yeah,
so for all that hassle, it's £10 profit you're not doing. So for our 40 acres, about £4,000. But the other things Dad's got, so that's cost, that's to do it. But the other plus side that what the maize has done to ground, Dad has done a list.
It's crop rotation.
Yeah.
To be able to clean your ground up, to be able to spray it off and start again. There is the chance of double cropping.
Yeah.
Right. The utilisation of your slurries and your farm manures correctly, to increase the diet, the balance of the diet with the grass silage and maize silage, you get it right. And we have an analysis on our maize that Tom may put on for you and show you how our maize
I'll put it here.
Yeah, okay. And the chance is you're less reliant, because of what the energy you get out of cereal costs going up or high for winter feeding.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a good feed.
Yeah.
And it's good on the machinery. You've noticed when you put it in your mix how it comes out, and it's good.
It's lovely.
It's lovely to feed. You can't 100% maize, but mixed with good quality grass silage, it's a good balance, it's a good mix, it's good on the machines, it's good to load, it's clean, it's not smelly, you don't get a lot of juice out of it like you can with your silo juices, your effluent. It's a good crop to handle.
That is a great point to put it into, is good for the feed. So, what did our maize do to cows? Well, how many litres did it go increase up, did we say?
Well, you're the one with all the figures there.
Yeah,
I'm approximately, and this is a plus or minus depending on the day, averaged out well over 2 litres a cow a day.
So
we say 2 litres to be on the safe side.
Yeah, so we're saying 2 litres. I think it could have put it up to 3, to be honest. The maize seed that we used was Prospect, and we're using it again this year. Really good maize seed. We were happy with it because we went 2 litres. I think you could argue it was 3, 2.5, north of 2.5. So, for easy maths again, we've done 2. So it's times about how many cows we're milking, and we're probably milking 150, probably 140 milking average normally, 145.
I've got down to 140 on
Have you
my
140 on your maths?
Yeah.
Okay, so Dad's got 140. So that's changing.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to wipe this off pretty... Mum's going to be so angry at me. Do not tell my mother. And then we're going to times by milk price at 40p at the moment.
Yeah.
That's average. We've never gone higher than that. And yeah, anyway. So how much monetary gain would that be a day, Father?
Over 150 day winter, we're feeding the maize.
Yeah, but how much is this a day?
£112 a day.
£112 a day. Okay, £112 a day. Extra by just feeding the maize in milk. But obviously, we've spent a lot of money on this because it's north of probably £25,000 on the maize. But 120, so how much over 150 days is that, Father?
Extra milk,
yeah,
£16,800.
So 1 times by 1, how many days of winter have you put?
150 day winter. 150 days, 6 months.
Yeah, probably, because that's 6 months, you're right. But we've got enough and we've got stuff left over, so I reckon that could go to 220. I think 220, but we'll go 150. So how much money was that again? Sorry, Father?
£1,680. 16,800.
Okay, so that would mean we are short here, let's say 25 grand for the maize, for the nice ease. So we're short, it cost me 25 grand. It's done 16,800, and for my easy maths, what we're going to say is we are shy of £8,000, yeah?
Yeah.
I think we can say we are in the black, the red, 8,000, negative, minus, I'll do an arrow, 8,000, that's sad times. Sad times. But, however, That's going for the cost of maize at £50?
£50 a tonne.
£50 a tonne. But what we haven't put into our calculations is the major thing is you've got to chop that grass.
Yeah, we've saved
35.
If we're putting 15 kilos of maize silage per day into the cows.
Into the cow itself.
Yeah, we've taken 15 kilos of grass silage out that we haven't had to make for the cows. So the 15 kilos.
Have you done the maths on this?
Yeah, well, yeah, the maths are quite simple. If you value your grass silage at £35 a tonne, clamped in sile, there ready to use, so you've got £35 as against your £50, your £15 a tonne advantage. You're feeding keep going. 2 tonnes a day, so it's costing you £30 a day more to feed maize silage against grass silage.
Yeah, so that we're back. What we figured out is, so this is a negative of £8,000, and we've rounded up to make it look probably worse for us. So this number will look worse for us in the profit mind. I say profit, there's always more costs that you won't even get involved in. The other thing is, so we haven't used 2 tonnes of silage a day, and we're costing our silage at 35 quid, which I think is cheap. Dad always likes to cheap our cows up. £70 a day, because we're not using 2 tonne of silage at £35, and we're doing 150 days of using the maize, because we use 150 here, which is £10,500. So that's a cost that we haven't had to use. So if you take £10,500 away from your 25 grand it cost to put your maize in, it works at £14,500 the cost of putting maize in minus your silage cost, which you didn't have this year. And then you've got your £16,800 in extra milk. So your £16,800 that you've received in extra milk, take away your £14,500 in cost minus grass, is £2,300. And I think you could easily put an extra 500 quid on it, £1,000, £2,000.
Tell you where our sums are wrong here. Yeah. You put the total cost of the maize against 150 days. Yeah. That's 150 days. That's only how many is that?
You're the one who said 150 days.
Yeah, but you put the total cost of growing it. We're going to have more than 150 days, aren't we? That's only 300 tonnes of maize we're using there.
Yeah.
I've worked out we've got 200 tonne of maize spare.
Yeah. So in this, I told you. So in this calculation, we have that. So that's how much we've done over 150 days. Yeah. Yeah. In this calculation, we have 200 tonnes of maize left, and you could argue again, £50 a tonne. You could sell that all day. So 50 times thing is £10,000. So your line there is £12,500 in the black. Is that right?
Yeah.
My son's crying. I might have to go get him.
And do you know what? £12,500 in the black, and however I calculated, I've got £11,850 worth of milk for the whole maize crop.
So
that's
there we
what
go.
It's worth.
So there we go. We found our number.
I found a number. You've done it your way. This is my old-fashioned way. That's what he gains extra. But throughout the whole crop of maize, that clamp of maize will give us £11,850 worth of extra.
So that's what Dad worked out. Let's say £12,000 for the numbers, and that's on 12 tonnes per acre.
That's on 12 tonnes per acre.
So the most important thing is the yield per acre, because if you got 15 tonne and put this to 45, it goes against your grass silage, it goes against your milk cost even better. So the more precious and the better you do for your maize crop, the better it will do. Because I think 12 tonnes per acre isn't great, but it's what we did. We can't argue against it. So it's definitely worth it monetary size, we think. We think it is worth it. Obviously, if we ruin drains, if we have more costs. If I didn't break a tyre, that would be up to £13,200. But, you know, if I did break a tyre...
Depends on your rent of your land as well.
Yes.
That's a big, important thing. And also it depends on whether you have to build a separate clamp or do separate things to store your maize. Yeah. Because it's very important that you look after it well.
Yeah.
Wastage is... when you're wasting things at £50 a tonne, it hurts a lot more than when you're wasting things at £35 or £25 a tonne.
Yeah.
Wastage is a big issue that you've got to be...
Yeah. So expensive.
It's siling... is good,
very important,
and that's why we bought the clamp roller,
the Rhino, the MBE,
which is great.
We loved
it. When we sheeted up, we put all our straw bales on it,
which worked perfectly.
We haven't got we haven't got a shovel full of waste.
No. We've got a little bit of the corners. I'm just going to grab my son. We're going to have a bit of an interlude. Ooh, he's stopped crying, so we're all right.
No, we're leaving.
We're all right, we're leaving. Obviously, so this has worked well. Everyone likes the numbers. Everyone loves the numbers. I'm a number guy. Love the numbers. I did a talk the other day, and people don't realise how much I like numbers. Numbers make sense. 1 + 1 is 2, and no one can argue that. Someone can argue what the meaning of something is. English not very good. Anyway, so this is what's worked with the Maize. Did it work? Yes. But the other things that Maize has brought into it, fertility has increased. Oh, sorry, Dad. I'm getting you out. The condition of the cows has definitely got better, and that has been great this year because obviously cull prices increased. So, like when we decide a cow's going to go cull, my cost per cow is 11.2, 11.5 litres a cow. So if a cow's doing less than that on the lowest amount of cake we give it in the parlour and outside and all the feed and all this, when we do that I can get rid of them, and because the Maize has put the condition on the cow, they're ready to go, and that's been a really good thing for me.
That's the biggest first thing I put.
Increasing condition.
Increasing condition, fertility, and the extra you get from your culls that have just lived off the basic diet.
100%. I'm going to grab this on. 2 seconds. 5 minutes, are we done?
Yeah, okay.
Humans.
Hello, human.
Hello, human. Right. Anywho. Right, so are you grabbing that now, Dad?
I'll grab
this.
Yeah, you got it.
So
those are my fag packet calculations.
Yeah.
Right. No matter
who's going in the pit. We are back in the room.
Conclusion of this, no matter what we say, we can see a positive reaction to the Maize.
100%.
Not only with the cattle, not only with the milk yield, it's positive for the whole working with the sow and the crop. It's positive. And if it wasn't positive, why would so many people grow Maize?
Yeah,
it's not just us; it's across the board.
I guess the why it wouldn't be positive, why it wouldn't be profitable, if we got below the 10 tonne per acre, that was when you probably look at it and go, actually, this isn't worth it.
Isn't worth the effort. Isn't worth the worry.
Yeah.
Because he's not growing it; he's getting it off, and the mess you can make sometimes, and damage to your land.
That's the thing we could be doing. And the other thing, the big factor is, me and Dad have put none of our hours in.
No.
None of our hours get put down into it. We don't put anything into the farm. So imagine if you put that at £15 an hour. You know what I mean? And that's what people be minimal. Some people charge themselves at £20. You know, we were para-harring for 3 days. We are looking for a 4 metre para-har. I found one and it got bought the day before I went to go look at it. So that was great. Oh, I had the trailer on. We were going to go up and I rung him and said, on my way. Oh, I sold it yesterday. But anyway, that's a different story. Still looking for one for about £5,000. 4 metre, not folding, if anyone's going. Sorry.
But also look at the positives with plant technology, plant breeders giving us better varieties that are coming more and more to this northern hemisphere, consider these stay green varieties that are giving us a better forage for cattle. Like these varieties you wouldn't grow in Europe, but they're growing for the northwest. The plant breeders and your agronomists looking at your soil structure better, looking at your inputs better, doing your soil analysis. It keeps you on top of, and the Maize itself creates all this big root structure that goes down through your ground and gives you a better soil structure eventually. If you get it off nice, reseed it with grass, you've done the work below the ploughing level, the crop's done it for you for the future. There's all the pluses of growing crop of Maize.
I think you just said a great point then, is it's called forever green, evergreen varieties. So this year, compared to last year, there's no leftover leaf, is there?
No.
You know, the leaves weren't brown and dead, that we saw a lot of the waste in there, and there wasn't that. It was such a good crop. The Maize analysis, it did analyse really, really well. We did a really good job with it, held off the right spots. You know, we were probably lucky at the back end, unlucky at the start. So we got our Maize, we got sprays from Procam, did we? Procam, Singleton Seeds and County Crops did the spraying. We worked really well.
But the big thing for us as well, when we looked at it a couple of 3 times, if you go back over the videos, patience pays. Being patient, not being worried about getting it off with the wet conditions. I always knew we'd get it off. We've never failed to get it off. It's just with how you leave the field. And we did all right because we grubbed it after and it levelled. And if you went on the fields, we've had no problem with the field.
No, been really good. Really good.
So patience pays, and you grow this crop. And there's no point in rushing it for the sake of a week or two. You've got to get the best out of the crop. And I think when you look at the analysis, and when you can put it on screen, we look at it hard, it's as good as analysis as I've ever seen for Maize grown on our farm. and this is first year for a long time.
First year, growing my own maize, and I've done the best. That's what I do. How do you increase from being the best?
No. You've done the best you've grown so far. You can, if you're at the top at the start, you can only go down.
Well, to be fair, we definitely weren't at the top of the first cut silage, so...
No. But it's perfect. It's done a perfectly good job.
Yeah. So in conclusion, why you wouldn't go for it if it didn't work, if yield were below a certain amount, if yield tonne per acre. But why we did go for it, and it was worth the risk, it did pay off, and we've seen a definite positive result from it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll try and do it every year. Will we rotate fields? I think we will.
Yeah, we will. We'll move one of them, definitely one a year. We should move out. We should move out of the maize for various reasons, because we want to get it back to a grass layer or something. But also we can pick our fields.
But the other thing as well, we like to do it off a private track.
Yes.
Take the mud onto the private track and then go onto the main road, because we're on a really fast road here.
It's not good.
No. So
it's not good. You have a health and safety problem. But what it did show is where we have drainage issues within fields we rent.
And we didn't know.
No, but you just cover with the grass. Yes, you don't go on because it's wet, but also the water's there, and the drainage issues have highlighted with a very whatever your Tetris clock like maize that doesn't like wet feet.
Yeah.
So it shows you where water's being held back.
No maize likes wet feet.
No.
It's a tropical plant.
Yeah, it's tropical. So that's showing you where you have some drainage issues potentially. The ground doesn't warm up as good, so you're not going to get, if you don't get maize yields, you're not going to get grass yields the same as well.
No.
You're going to have the same. So basically, it's highlighted some of these problems, and it gives us a good chance to plough, reseed, regenerate the ground, and also check all your analysis, all your soil quality.
Yeah.
And it's worked well for us. And now we're growing, should I say, we're farming more acres. And when we're really struggling at one stage when we're down on acres, you can afford, if it was a total disaster, it won't wipe your winter's feed out.
No.
It's a proportion of it.
It'd still be a headache, like.
Oh, a big headache. But the big crucial thing, besides the quality, which we got right, is quantity now. We've got to try and keep that quality and get another 10% yield, 20% yield. If we could get to 15 tonnes to the acre,
we'd be happy.
it drops all the costs and increases your returns.
Yeah.
But for the same fixed cost.
But the other thing of that is off a 40p milk price.
Oh yeah, milk price.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if your milk price is the same. That's a static.
Yeah.
Whether you're going, that won't alter. It's
what costs you the same.
So it's the quality of the quality of the product, and then the tonnage of the product for the same cost.
Yeah.
And then also the feel-good factor of having a wonderful crop of forage in the clamp.
Yeah. It is a bit of work getting it in, like we're just debating, do we hit it this week to get it in? I've got TB in the week after, and then I've got one silo probably the week after that, maybe. It'll be the earliest we've ever siloed, I think, wouldn't it, if we did? Try and get 4 crops. I know! But on that crazy note, was maize worth it? 100%. Do I recommend it to everyone? Maybe, maybe not, depending what your rainfall's like and how hot it gets for you.
So still, let's work out approximately, say your £12,000 extra in milk is given us over the 40 acres.
Yeah.
What's that worked out?
So, 300.
So that crop has returned us potentially £300 an acre.
Yeah.
Because of the effort we put in.
So you could put it into plastic.
You could do, but are you going to get another 3 tonnes to the acre?
You're going to get 3 tonnes to the acre to get it onto plastic. And the other thing you've got to do is we bought chicken muck this year, so the chicken muck's got to return us 2 tonnes to the acre as well, I think. So we'll see what happens anyway. You'll see it in the video anyway, coming soon. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I've got to tend to a very, very lively 18-month-year-old after a nap. And we'll love you later.
Yeah, love you.
Happy with that?
Well, yeah. My sums. I'm glad you've done your sums your way.
Yeah.
And we get down to it isn't far off.
No.
But and yes, it's worth it. It's just the effort and the risk. But it's a risk and reward. Risk and reward.
See you. Love you. Bye.